So, Lance, everybody wants to know quarterbacks, and there's some highs, there's some lows. Let's start with the highs, and we'll start with Dillon Gabriel. Take us through what we see here.
Well, Dillon Gabriel's had a really good camp. All these guys have. So he's just a little check down here on their mesh concept they run. He's made a lot of really good throws. He's also made a lot of really bad throws. And a lot of that has to do with timing. And you can see Joe Flacco here. Joe Flacco, he's been up and down, but pretty consistent. You're going to see a really good throw by Shedeur Sanders there. You're going to see these guys, as you watch practice, really good throw by Pickett there. As you watch practice, you're going to see that these guys are all in a learning environment. And the narrative that one guy is a lot better than the other guy right now is just not true. All these guys have had their highs. All these guys have had their lows. But I'll tell you what they're doing. They're learning. They're all practicing fast. They're all being good leaders. But the depth chart that everybody wants won't happen until these guys get into games and won't happen until these guys get pads on. Joe Flacco is in the driver's seat right now just because he's experienced and he can make all the throws and he knows where he's going right now. The Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel, they are doing really, really well, but they are not close to playing yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, and again, you wouldn't expect that they would be. It's a third-round pick. It's a fifth-round pick. It's not the second overall pick. It's not a top 10 pick, so there's no need to rush them in. All right, we saw some of the highs. There's also some lows from the quarterbacks. Take us through some of these.
Well, you're going to see here, just, it's a normal day, right? So you're going to see Pickett here. He's going to drop back. A little play action here. Protection breaks down. So you're starting to see, what happens in a game. And he has an overthrow. And all these guys really struggled. Dillon Gabriel really struggled with being high and being off target. But once again, you're going to see the pressure in front of him. You're going to see Denzel Ward makes a great play here. These guys have, you're going to see a really high throw by Pickett. These guys, and then lastly, Sanders, a little bit behind, pretty good throw. But again, they're starting to see stuff. They're starting to see better coverage. They're starting to see better players. They're all doing a really, really nice job. I just don't think the hype and or the negative talk about these guys is really warranted at this point. They haven't done enough, any of the four. They're just kind of learning, seeing the speed of the NFL. It's early on. All these guys, as good as they are, whatever the depth chart is right now, it could be exactly opposite when the pads go on. So they've had their highs, they've had their lows. Most of the time we see just their good throws on X. But I film everything and I try to just be honest. And these guys are doing a great job. But those young guys, they're a while away from playing here.
Well, the other thing is, and relative to Dillon Gabriel, his height has been made a lot of. As a 5'9" guy, I have nothing against short quarterbacks. The question I have, though, you mentioned the ball going high. That's got to be a concern if you're Kevin Stefanski, because a short guy throwing high, that's something you got to work through, especially at the NFL level.
Well, there's interesting. So as I was watching practice, and you try to just analyze it. That's why I like when they get in the season, you can have the film in the end zone and the all 22 in the sideline, all that stuff, so I get a better feel of it. But for me right now in OTAs, it's, are they going to the right spot? Some of the throws you hope are going to kind of fix themselves when they get more and more reps with those receivers. And quarterback, it'd be interesting. He's done a really good job through his career trying to find in those lanes, but that is a general concern. A quarterback at his height is an outlier, just like Drew Brees, just like Flutie. These guys who make it, they have to beat the odds, and Dillon Gabriel's no different. He's thrown for 18,000 yards in college at a high level in the Power Four, so he's played against really big guys and fast guys, but nothing like the NFL. But it'll be interesting, because we don't know if they're going through the right progressions. And if I'm a coach of the Browns, I want to make sure they're going to the right spot. And then you hope, because they're pros, the throws will get better and better once they learn the timing of each receiver.
And I do, it's a very valid point. He's had success. He's been 5'9" his whole life. He was 5'9" or 5'11" or whatever he is in college and had success.